Welcome to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show, where you get advice you can trust, from the latest real estate trends to the best mortgage rates, from curb appeal to home warranty. This is the show that will help you save and make the most money when it comes to buying or selling your most valuable asset. Now, here's your host, broker and founder of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty of Florida, Rick Kendrick.
Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. Rick Kendrick, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. We just love the opportunity to be on the radio show with our listeners and talk a little bit about the market and what's going on in the real estate market. It's pretty important. I think our last two shows were pretty cool. We had some folks on here that knew a lot about the market. We had Eric Rosemary with Cross Country Mortgage on. He comes to us for about 20 years of experience, and he gave us the lowdown of what's going on in the market as far as interest rates are concerned, and he talked about the process that you go through. He was able to talk a lot about getting a loan approved and getting a loan commitment in 21 days. That's big when you're selling or you're taking a contract to a seller. A seller wants everything done as quickly as possible. Inspection, loan commitment, closing. So we had a good discussion with Eric about that. The other one we had was performance title. Wow. Charisma was really good. She gave us some really great details on that process from contract to closing. Having that situation where buyers and sellers do not know what happens after they sign that contract becomes a situation where they're calling us all the time, asking us, what's next? What's next? So those crucial points that she brought out was some really, really great things. And ultimately, like she said, we got to get them to the closing table with the least amount of hassle. And that's where performance titles comes into play. By the way, you can hear these shows again on podcast. Karey, how can we do that?
So if you visit Rick's website at rickhasthebuyers.com, you'll see his radio show button in the top right corner. If you just click on that, you will be able to download the episodes and listen to them on your favorite podcast provider on your phone.
So I have the big cheese in this morning, Karey, and her and I are going to kind of just drill into a little bit of the market here and kind of give you some real bare facts of what's happening on the market. When you look at the market facts on a national level, what you see on TV, right, Karey, what you're seeing is, sometimes they talk about all the doom and gloom, right? But we're in Florida. There's a little bit more to be said to that.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of misinformation out there. As we know, real estate is extremely local and regional, of course. So what is going on in one region of the country isn't necessarily what we're experiencing here in our marketplace.
We have 20,000 people in our database that are actually looking to make a purchase. Okay, and they're looking for a particular type of house. We have one particular buyer that's looking for something. He's in that $1 million range, but we'll talk a little bit more later on about that. But we do have buyers that are pre-approved and ready to hit the market. So, Karey, kind of tell me what's happening in the market.
So, the end of each month, the stats come out about what's happening. And, we get statistics on inventory, how many months of inventory there is available in our marketplace. We get stats on what's happening with the days on the market. Are they trending up? Are they trending down? Of course, your average and your median home sale price. And then the inventory one, I think, is the big one that everyone is most concerned about, and that would potentially affect everyone's property values, right? So if a flood of properties end up coming onto the marketplace, then that, of course, is going to affect everybody's property values. We kind of look at it from where were we last year compared to where we are this year. So last year, we were just coming off of COVID. We had historically low inventory, between 1 and 2 months of inventory. And we did start to see that inch up in the second half of last year once the interest rates started rising. And of course, everybody got very concerned. So if you actually look at the trend line so far this year, we're hovering around 3 to 4 months of inventory right now. Okay, that's double what it was last year. But in reality, a 6-month inventory level is kind of what we consider a balanced market. So we are still in a very strong seller's market right now. And I'm sure, Rick, you could speak to that, the multiple offers that we are seeing on a lot of properties out there. We do still have buyers who are competing against other buyers and really have to put their best foot forward when they're making an offer on a property.
And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go over the market facts. And sellers, please, The market facts are crucial on how you price your property. These numbers that we're giving you are numbers that are relative to what's happening in our local market. All right? And keep in mind, I'm not saying listing. I'm saying market, and we're going to talk about that later, because really what we do is that we do not list your property, we market your property. So on the average, how many days are homes on the market?
Okay, so right now, a little less than 2 months is the average days on the market. So again, we're going to compare that to last year so that we have some perspective here. Last year, properties were on the market on average about 30 days. And so now they're on the market average just under 2 months. Let's just think about what happened during the last market crash, right? Which everybody's trying to compare the current market to. There was a point back then where, the average days on the market was, 225, 250 days on the market. So we're still nowhere near that at all. If you're out there and you're listening and you're finding yourself, in a situation right now where you may have your property listed with an agent, which I know because of the radio show now, Rick has been getting a lot of calls and from some sellers who have been on the market for months and months, and they're just not seeing the results that they would have expected. Rick, can you speak to why you feel like they may be in those situations and why they're not selling in, less than the average, which is 2 months?
We just listed one last week. That particular scenario, the seller had been on the market for 239 days. The seller became very frustrated. And honestly, every time she called to get the agent out there to do things to market the property, they weren't doing it effectively. Now, there are many reasons why a home will not sell. It could be the condition of the house. It could be the price that they priced it at. It could be the area that they're in. All these are conditions that are relative to how you price it. Pricing strategy is a very big thing here, and I'm glad we're going to talk about that today, because honestly, if you price it right, we can show you graphically how you're going to be able to get a contract or get your place under contract within 30 days. Karey, just one more thing I'm really curious about. The prices of homes, how are they doing?
They're actually sort of remaining steady, believe it or not. We're not seeing any drastic downturn in the average price or the median price. I think the median price is kind of holding steady, maybe a 1% increase from this time last year. And the average price is up, maybe 3 to 5 percentage points from this time last year.
And I can safely say that prices are still very healthy for this market. And so we're going to talk about the pricing strategy. There is a system that we have. It's a 9-step system that can get your house sold quickly and fast with the least amount of hassle. But anyway, we're going to go over that after the break. Stay tuned. This is your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Show. Rick Kendrick.
To schedule an appointment with Rick Kendrick to help you buy or sell your home, call 561-901-3333 or go to rickhasthebuyers.com. Rick will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show here on News Talk 850 WFTL.
I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, I'm not really crazy about the real estate agent I'm using. Can you suggest anybody? Hi, it's Jennifer. Of course I can. My friend Rick Kendrick from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty of Florida. And you're like, well, why Rick? Let me put it to you this way. Rick is so confident in his marketing system to attract the right buyer for your home that he guarantees to sell your home at a price and a timeline that you all agree to, or he'll buy it for cash. For example, take Ann and Toby, okay? They were concerned that the market might shift. They didn't want to risk losing any of the equity they had built in their Port St. Lucie home. So they decided to go ahead and sell. When they learned that Rick sells homes for 5.2% more than the average agent, they hired him almost instantly. Boom! They came away with an extra $26,000 in their pocket. The extra cash allowed Ann and Toby to pay off debt and downsize into a lovely waterfront condo in Stewart. Just another success story for why you should pick Rick Kendrick to be your real estate agent. Give him a call, 561-901-3333, or visit rickhasthebuyers.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Rosemary, branch manager at Cross Country Mortgage in Boca Raton. If you're deciding which lender to trust, whether you're purchasing or refinancing, I would love the opportunity to work with you. Over my 20-year career, I've helped close to 10,000 families buy or refinance the place they call home. Despite what you're hearing about interest rates, you might be surprised at what we can do for you. Let's talk. Call or text me at 954-312-3104 or visit rosemarymortgageteam.com.
Hi, I'm Charisma Steva, Director of Operations and Licensed Closing Agent with Performance Title, your trusted partner in Florida. When the conversation with your realtor or mortgage broker turns to title insurance, make sure you ask for Performance Title. With over 17 years experience, we've become a dedicated member of our community and a valuable resource to our clients. Join the Performance Title family today. Call me at 954-748-4890 or visit us online at performtitle.com. That's performtitle.com.
If you're ready to buy or sell your home and would like to schedule an appointment with Rick, call 561-901-3333 or go to rickhasthebuyers.com. Now, back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show and your host, Rick Kendrick.
Hey, welcome back. So we got a ton of information we want to share with you today on strategies to use as a seller if you're looking to put your place on the market. Not only are we going to talk about pricing it correctly, but also what we're going to talk about is the aspect of a lot of times sellers get very nervous about putting their place on the market and not having a place to go. Karey, pricing strategy. I've learned this over the years. I always just wanted to get the listing, right? And you would always roll your eyes when I brought it home and I said, here's a new listing and it was priced $200,000 more, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was like, why did you take it? Why did you do this? Well, that's what the seller wants. It's not what the seller wants, right? It's what the bank will do, okay? The bank says to us, this is what it's worth. Now, sellers, I'm not criticizing what you've done to your place. We got to look at not only how we market it, very important, but how you price it.
So I'd say that pricing your home is counterintuitive to most folks. So in your mind, you say, okay, well, my house is worth $400,000. That's what the market says it's worth. That's what an appraisal would value it at. So you say, well, I want to get the most amount of money. So let's come out on the market at like $450,000. And that's the exact opposite strategy that you should be taking on, because all of the buyers, okay, that are in the market are waiting, right, patiently waiting for the perfect property to pop on the market. And so if your home meets their criteria and it's priced to sell, you're going to get the most eyeballs on it very quickly.
The first 7 to 10 or 11 days is when the buyers are really out there looking.
Yes, so statistics show that 89% of the buyers will actually look at your home within the first 3 weeks that it's on the market. So if you come out and you're way overpriced, you're going to miss 90% of the buyers that are in the marketplace.
In my earlier years, I got to say I had one listing, I had it priced $200,000 over. I had 60 showings. No offers.
And the property becomes stale, right? The buyers out there who are seeing it online, they all have access to a lot of information, right? So they can see how long the property has been on the market, and they start wondering to themselves, like, what's wrong with this property?
Sellers, we're not criticizing the price you want. What we're saying is if you really want to sell this house, price it right. In the long run, you're going to be very happy. So when I sit down with a seller, I tell them right off the bat, listen, there are people who are already looking in your area, all ready to go. It's just the fact, are you going to be able to grab them when they look at the price? Because they've studied the market. This is the area where they want to live. This is the right amount of bedrooms. This is the right amount of bathrooms. This is what they've been looking for. In the first 5 or 6 days, if we do not get showings, I tell them I'm coming back and knocking on your door because we got to go back to the drawing board here. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think the big thing that you're getting at is you have to be hiring an agent, working with an agent who has a plan in place, right? And Rick does actually have a great pricing strategy guide that he has put together. And I believe he's offering it to the listeners. If you'd like to receive the pricing strategy guide, you can text him at 561-901-3333. 561-901-3333.
So it's titled The Pricing Strategy. So it's about 6-7 pages. I can shoot that to you. There's another, what I say, pretty interesting information that we can provide them too. There's 6 mistakes to avoid when selling your place. 27, this is another one we can send to you. 27 valuable tips you should know to get your home sold for the top dollar. All these are available to you, no charge. Just text me at 561-901-3333 or go to rickhasthebuyers.com. So with that in mind, Karey, in the first 7 to 10 days, most of the buyers are going to be coming and looking at that property. What if in that first 7 or 10 days we don't get an offer? What's that telling us?
That's telling us that we're off the mark as far as pricing is concerned.
What if we do not get any showings on it?
Then we're off a little farther from the mark.
Okay. When I sit down with sellers now, I'm very frank with them. Okay. You want people coming in here. You don't want a bunch of people coming in here and not writing offers, right? So here's what you want. You want people walking in here, looking at your property and saying, this is what I want to offer based on market conditions and what they think it's going to be worth, okay? But remember, they may be using an agent, all right? And the agent's giving them what we call comparables or other sales in the area. So that's what they look at. They're not coming in there blindsided and saying, I love your place. I don't care what it costs. I want to buy this place. Now, every once in a great while that happens, but more times than not, it does not happen. So a buyer does walk into your place. They like it. If they don't make an offer, just to let you know what we do a little bit called reverse prospecting. If you have a buyer that walks in and they're keenly interested in the property, and they don't want to make an offer because, believe it or not, they say, I'm kind of embarrassed to make an offer. So what we do is that we tell the seller, make an offer to the buyer to get the communication going.
Yeah, so I'd say that communication between the seller and the agent that the seller has chosen obviously is a big one, right? To have somebody who is willing to commit to sit down with you on a weekly basis and review, okay, how many people have been coming through your home? What sort of feedback have we been getting? Okay, not just on the price, but also on the condition. And then, what have we been doing to create the activity that's needed in order to get eyeballs on your property? The more buyers that see your property, the more demand there is, and that drives up the price. But it is a collaborative affair. And so your agent has to be able to be upfront with you, and you have to be willing to receive that feedback because ultimately you've hired them to sell your home. So aside from price, though, there are, statistics that show everybody is going online and looking at images of your property, okay? Whether that is still images or video images, floor plans, interactive floor plans and whatnot. They give you 5 clicks. Okay, I just want to say that to everybody listening. You get 5 clicks to make a good impression on a buyer. Otherwise, they're going to move on to the next property. So spending the money on professional photography is something that a lot of brokers or a lot of agents don't do, right? Because they're trying to save money. But the reality is that couldn't be more important in today's digital world. So how your property looks online is key. In some cases, you see agents that post 150 pictures of your property online. And in your mind, you may be thinking, wow, they're doing a really great job because they've, taken 6 angles of my den. Well, maybe your den is really messy and small. Maybe you should consider not even putting that image out there. So there's a lot of things that go into creating demand and getting people in your door to look at the property and to experience the property and to try to see themselves living in your home.
I think offering the right amount of quality pictures are very important in getting that buyer to look at it, right? Not preparing your home for the buyer's eye is critical. Not pricing the home to what the market is critical. Having a buyer sold too hard can be critical. After the break, we're going to be talking more about profitable moves and selling your home with success. This is Rick Kendrick with Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show.
To schedule an appointment with Rick Kendrick to help you buy or sell your home, call 561-901-3333 or go to rickhasthebuyers.com. Rick will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show here on News Talk 850 WFTL.
Hi, I'm Eric Rosemary, branch manager at Cross Country Mortgage in Boca Raton. If you're deciding which lender to trust, whether you're purchasing or refinancing, I would love the opportunity to work with you. Over my 20-year career, I've helped close to 10,000 families buy or refinance the place they call home. Despite what you're hearing about interest rates, you might be surprised as what we can do for you. Let's talk. Call or text me at 954-312-3104 or visit rosemarymortgageteam.com.
Hi, it's Jennifer Rossa, and if you've been thinking about selling your home, you already know that the only agent that I would recommend to you is my friend Rick Kendrick. He's a broker and founder of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty of Florida. Now, what about the listener who would love Rick to sell but doesn't want to deal with the headaches of cleaning, staging, holding open houses, and all that other stuff?
Well, Jen, we have the perfect solution. First of all, we always like to make our traditional home selling process stress-free, but for the listener who doesn't want to fix up their place, who has inherited a home or simply wants a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make them an immediate cash offer. And for that seller to get the most amount of money for their home.
Come on, you can do that.
Absolutely, Jen. We'll come right over, appraise a home, make you a fast, fair cash offer, and close as little as 3 weeks.
Cash in your hand, hard to beat it. Call Rick Kendrick right now, 561-901-3333. That's 561-901-3333. Or visit rickhasthebuyers.com.
Hi, I'm Charisma Esteva, Director of Operations and Licensed Closing Agent with Performance Title, your trusted partner in Florida. When the conversation with your realtor or mortgage broker turns to title insurance, make sure you ask for Performance Title. With over 17 years experience, we've become a dedicated member of our community and a valuable resource to our clients. Join the Performance Title family today. Call me at 954-748-4890 or visit us online at performtitle.com. That's performtitle.com.
If you're ready to buy or sell your home and would like to schedule an appointment with Rick, call 561-901-3333 or go to rickhasthebuyers.com. Now, back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show and your host, Rick Kendrick.
Okay, so Rick, as far as pricing strategies, right? So obviously the sellers that are hiring you don't always listen to you, and sometimes they do list their home for a little bit higher than what you would have wanted them to. But let's say you get an offer, okay, that's low. Do you encourage the seller to counter the offer, or how do you go about handling that process?
Absolutely. Always counter the offer. For an example, okay, we just had a contract signed yesterday, home in Port St. Lucie. The offer was really not attractive to the seller. It was not only the price, but the terms and conditions. Whenever we receive an offer, it's a situation where we kind of dissect it. We first of all make sure we get a pre-approval letter, not a pre-qualification. In this instance, we had gotten from a 1-800 lender a pre-qualification from this lender. What that means is that the buyer had not gone through the process needed to verify their funds. So what we did is that we negotiated in behalf of the seller to get the buyer to put down $300,000 on the offer price so we could get the seller to sign it. But more importantly, what we got is that we got a 7-day inspection. We got a 21-day low commitment on a $400,000 sale. These are the things that we do. We just don't take for granted when we get a deal that it's ready to go right off the bat and we're going to sign it. We want to make sure the seller's going to have a hassle-free, smooth closing at the end.
So, Rick, oftentimes sellers are extremely concerned about the process of moving, right? Like, do I sell first or do I buy first? So if that's a concern to somebody, how do you handle it? Do you encourage them to put their home on the market first or to go out and buy a house and then put their place on the market?
These are the ones I love. I really want a situation where I can get a seller who's looking to either move up or they're looking to downsize or they're looking to move somewhere else. And they get very nervous about the situation. And it's understandable, right? Here's the thing. What we do is we sit down with them and go, listen, first of all, just want you to understand, anytime we bring an offer to you, if it doesn't meet the terms and conditions that you're looking at, time, price, you don't have to sign. What you need to do is go ahead and list your property. And why? Because if you're going to go out and look at property and make an offer on the property, you need to have your property on the market because that's telling the seller that you are generally ready to go. Does that make sense, Karey?
Absolutely.
Once we get them on the market, then what we're able to is go out and make offers on properties contingent on them selling their place. A lot of times when you look at that, a seller sometimes will say, I do not want to make my property contingent on somebody else selling their place. Well, what we do is we provide them not only the contract, but on top of that, we show them the comparables that are selling in the area and that this house with a pricing strategy is going to sell within the next 30 to 45 days. Just to let you know, two things that we do here. If we have a buyer walk into the seller's property, okay, and they got a house to sell, that we will buy their house so they can buy their house. Our guarantee also is that if they're looking to sell their place, that we will guarantee the sale of their place so they can go ahead and move forward on buying another place. So here we are. We're looking at the best buy of the week. We have this feature listing. It's actually in Fort Lauderdale. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, about 1,200 square feet. Beautiful. The seller just spent about $100,000 through remodeling on it. It's priced at $529,000. The view on this property is incredible. So again, it's $529,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, 1,200 square feet in Fort Lauderdale. Our buyers in waiting. Again, like I said, we have about 19,000 buyers ready to go that have been pre-approved, but we have one particular buyer. It's looking in that price range of about $900,000 to $1 million in the Jupiter area, pre-approved buyer who's going to be putting down at least 40%. If you're interested in maybe me coming out and taking a look at the property, be happy to take a look at it, give you a free market evaluation on it. And on top of that, if this fits his needs, I would like to set up an appointment to show it to him. You can text me at 561-901-3333 or rickhasthebuyers.com. So, Karey, you got any final comments?
So yeah, Rick, so I'd just like to remind all of our listeners of our Go Serve Big mission, where we are on a mission to raise $25,000 this year for charities in our area. So the two that we've been highlighting most recently are Little Smiles and LEAF, the Law Enforcement Assistance Foundation. So if you or anybody you know is considering a move in our market area, Southeast Florida, we'd be happy to speak with them. So if you know any neighbors, friends, coworkers, just give Rick a shout.
With that in mind, thank you for taking time to listening to us today. This is the Rick Kendrick with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Show, serving the southeast coast of Florida, and all our networks extends out from all across the country, including Canada. So we're looking forward to meeting you next week. Tune in every Sunday at 10 a.m. at WFTL 850 News Talk.
You've been listening to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with broker-owner Rick Kendrick. Heard every Sunday morning here on News Talk 850 WFTL. Rick's company name is his promise, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. To speak directly to Rick about buying or selling your home, call now to schedule an appointment, 561-901-3333. Or visit rickhasthebuyers.com. And mark your calendar to join Rick again next week at this same time for the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show here on News Talk 850 WFTL.